Um,
Hello?
yeah.
Yeah, go prove your character skills.
Sure. So I'll just start with scaling him above like one layer over fiction, which would be like assuming the fiction is third dimensional, has three spatial axes, it would make him at least 4D, and that's where I'll start with my character.
Okay, cool. My character can do anything, bro. Doesn't matter.
Oh, why's that?
You can turn fantasy into reality.
I asked, why is that? Like, why can he do anything?
Because you can turn fantasy into reality. You're asking the same question.
That's not why he can do anything. That's just like,
Yeah, it is.
that's a very
You
hyper
can,
specific thing. That's not anything.
yeah, I'll turn you this game, bro.
Can turning reality into fantasy or vice versa make
Literally
this
not what
model
I
to.
said.
What?
Literally not what I said.
Turning
Turn
reality into fantasy or vice versa?
yeah, fantasy into reality. I'll just send it.
That's why I said vice versa.
Okay. Yeah, it's literally not doesn't they don't equate by like flipping it around, bro. Like you're
I
not
said vice
understanding.
versa for a reason.
Yeah.
But,
I'm just bro. You're like acid debating, bro. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
why is the VC private? That was strange.
Scans.
Sure. Why is the VC private though?
Two of my friends joined. Who's gonna troll?
Oh, okay.
All
Oh,
right.
the originator of the six paths possess the blood and powers that both can create many things. The Uchiha and the
You
Senju
do that can make
Kagwan.
fantasy and reality. So you do
Creation of
anything.
all things. A jutsu that can make fantasy reality. Um. Okay, and what's that in reference to?
Just anything. Just
Prove that.
fantasy.
Prove it's in reference to anything.
You know what fantasy means?
I don't know what his fantasy is.
Why would it only be in reference to one thing?
I didn't say that.
Well, you're taking the agnostic stance, right?
I'm just saying that it's in reference to him. That's my claim.
Yeah, fantasy, the activity of imagining things, especially the things that are impossible or improbable. You can do things that are impossible.
But what is Hagoroma's fantasy since this claim is in reference to him?
Things that are impossible.
No, that's the definition of fantasy. What is his fantasy? Like, what is he making into reality?
Things that are impossible. What? You're asking the same question. He's using the word
No.
fantasy. The
Okay.
word fantasy is things that are impossible, things that you
Okay.
can imagine. They're not
So, so,
possible.
so, hold on. My fantasy is, say, in a hypothetical, my fantasy is I could have telekinesis. That's what my fantasy is, right?
Okay. Okay, you're not understanding because you're directly talking about something.
No, I think
So
you're misunderstanding what
you're
I'm
not talking about.
asking.
This is just fantasy in general.
Yeah, prove. I'm asking you to prove that. Like, prove it is in reference to
But what
just
do you
all
mean? It just is
fantasy.
fantasy. It's not saying it's in reference to anything. It just is
Well,
fantasy.
it is because the statement is talking about the use of or Hagoromo's uses of the jutsu, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantasy in general.
And I'm asking you to prove that it is a general claim
Um,
because you're
it's,
assuming that it is like this entirely external thing when in the scan itself it is talking about something specific.
no, literally not.
It is because it is talking about Hagoromo bringing forth his own fantasies. So now I'm asking, what fantasies
What?
can
No,
he bring
yeah,
forth?
fantasy. Yeah, you just said it. Fantasy is.
Yeah, what fantasies can he bring
Are you
forth?
stupid? You're so stupid. No. It's just talking about fantasy, bro. Just fantasy in
Yeah,
general.
okay.
We're
What
not referring
fantasies
to
can he bring
anything.
forth?
What?
What fantasies can he bring forth?
He doesn't really specify
Okay, so then how can we assert that he can bring forth all fantasies? You're aware.
because that's a meaning fantasy. Fantasy, just impossible things that are impossible.
Well, fantasy can mean one thing, it can mean two things, it can mean a lot of things. So that's why we'd have to prove that it means a general thing, right? Like it's just
Why
any
would it?
fantasy.
Oh my god, you're so stupid. If I say like this guy is fast, why would it only be referring to like one specific thing
Okay,
of his
so
speed? Why would it
fast
be referring to like
fast is a comparative term. You're aware of that? Like what's fast to
no,
me
no,
might
it's
not
just
be
talking
fast to
in
an ant.
general. It just says fantasy, right? Imagining things, especially things that are impossible. They're just talking about things that are impossible, so they can do things that are impossible. It's so
Uh,
simple, dude.
no, because
Do anything.
that's the definition of fantasy, not a specific thing that is
Oh
Hagoromo's
my! If it's not
fantasy.
talking about a specific thing, why would it even be in reference to a specific thing? You're so stupid.
Because there's no specification of what fantasies he can bring forth. Like there is no explicit capability being distributed.
And happy, so you're just talking about fantasy in general. It's so simple, dude. Oh my gosh.
Okay, but you haven't
It's so
proved that.
stupid. It's already no. Oh my
Are
gosh. If it
you
just
all
says
right? So I'll just
fantasy
make
and
this
then it
simpler.
talks about
Are you
fantasy in
you're
general,
are you
bro.
aware of what
What
like
are
an
you
appeal to
talking
ignorance
about?
is?
No, I'm not committing argument from ignorance.
You
You know
are
what
because you're
fantasy
assuming the
is?
fact that they don't give a specification that it must be the entire generalization. Therefore, making an appeal
No, because
based
I'm just
upon
going
the
to the
ignorance,
definition
based
talks
upon the
about. It
lack of
just talks
evidence
about
prevented.
impossible things. He can do impossible things. You know what the things are?
I do.
Or
Yeah,
do you need to define that
there's a
for you as
lot of
well?
things. So he could bring forth
Nice.
his own defeat.
Sure. Anything. You can do anything.
Okay. So then he's capable of
Simple.
creating himself in a way that is stronger than him.
Sure.
You're aware that's a logical impossibility. So you're
Okay,
saying it's
just be above
possible
that.
for him to do something that is not possible.
Dude, he could do things that are impossible.
No, it
That's
is
why
a
fantasy.
logical impossibility. Like that is
Sorry,
a
repeat that?
contradiction within his own claim that you're saying is capable. I doubt I
No,
need to
really
explain
not.
why that doesn't make any sense.
You can do things that are impossible. It's so simple, dude.
No, he cannot do something that exists outside of his own logical spectrum that he's quite obviously abiding by. Because
he
he is
can't.
capable of he's capable of deeming what is possible and is impossible.
Okay, so he's above
For him,
logic. Thank you. He's above everything.
prove that.
So simple. Bro.
I'm presenting a contradiction within your argument, not presenting a added thing.
Okay, so he's above everything. Thank you.
I didn't say that.
No, he is. No, that's what I'm saying.
Why?
Anything into reality.
Okay, so you're aware that that argument is still an appeal to ignorance?
Nope.
It is. I
What
explained
are the
why.
fundamental difference of fantasy?
You're
Do
saying
impossible
that because
things.
there's no specification of what impossibilities he can or cannot create, that he can do any
You haven't
impossibility.
provided any sort of justification on what it can refer to. So
I don't
why
have
should
to.
we even
It's not my burden. It's not my claim.
I mean, you're kind of like having this sort of skepticism towards there being a possibility, when you haven't
What?
provided any justification for a possibility.
What are you talking about? It's not my justification to provide for. It's
Oh,
yours.
you know, because you're saying, oh, it could refer to one thing, but you haven't provided justification for that in being in this context.
I'm bringing up the possibility to your claim, which hasn't been provided, yes. But you haven't provided anything, so therefore
oh my
that
gosh,
claim
you're-
just renders
you're
as an
so
equal
retarded.
interpretation, therefore
You're
making your
retarded.
argument invalid,
You're
hence
retarded.
the appeal to
You're retarded.
ignorance.
You're retarded as fuck. You're giving a possibility, right? It can just refer
giving
to
an
one
equal
thing.
possibility.
You haven't
I think that's
justified that,
important.
stupid bitch.
I'm giving an equal possibility.
No, you haven't. So provide some sort of basis for that. I'll wait.
Sure, so you're making the assumption that since they give this generalization, it must mean all things plausible. While I'm just giving an equal assumption based upon the words provided, which is the same thing that you did, that it could mean a lot of different things, and that there would be evidence needed to provide for either or assumption, meaning that each assumption is equal in terms of validity. Therefore, making your claim versus my claim an irrelevant subject, because we can't assert either.
You literally just assumed it, bro. You haven't provided any basis. You're so stupid.
We both assumed it. That's why it's an equal interpretation.
No. And it just means impossible things. You
I'm
can do
not disagreeing
impossible
with that.
things.
I'm presenting the counter argument that
Are all things
what
hold on, I'll see. Are all
possibilities,
things-
what impossible things could have a limit.
Hold on, I'm asking something. Are all things that exist? Sorry. Is everything right? They're all things, right?
Could you
Everything.
form a coherent sentence for me, please? It's kind of annoying to deal with somebody who is illiterate.
No, you're just incompetent as fuck, and you're so low tier in the comm. So it's not my fault. You're just incompetent. You can't understand my own arguments. But do you know
Then
that
why are you
everything,
stuttering?
the word thing and everything?
The word thing is within everything. That's an astute
Yes.
observation, my friend.
No, I'm asking a question. Yes or no?
The word thing is in everything, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So how would it apply to fantasy? Thank you.
What?
Things that are impossible. Things fit in everything. Thank you.
Okay,
Concession.
so that didn't attack my argument.
Literally did. All right. So
It didn't,
GG's, your
because-
ass. You're terrible.
Oh, that's funny. Just for uh, give me one sec. I just like to show what's going on. She doesn't know. Look, he kicked me. That's funny. Well, what the fuck is that?